basically run the supportive services program here, which is that the hospital in itself and part of their mission, they support the human-animal bond. So they recognize the intensity of the bond.
Hi guys, it's Morgan. I was just checking on the status of the rats for that little pit bull.
These pets, they just transcend every boundary that there is between humans.
Don't be so shy.
And people like it. It feels really good to have that love.
Some people say, oh, it's just a dog, but who is actually to really judge what the value of anything is to any human being just because it's not a human? I mean, for some people, it's priceless to have a dog. You know, their kids are grown up, they've grown away, their husbands died, their dog is their life. You don't, have your mom sleep with you or your dad sleep with you in bed, I mean, to put it bluntly, but your dog often does. It's been a great dog.
Since I'm not in a relationship at this point except with him, he sleeps on a pillow next to me. He sleeps in my bed with me, which I can't imagine people who don't sleep with their dogs, I kind of like having him there. It's nice. It's a companion.
I think it's getting more widely known. I think people want to do more. I think people are aware that there are things that they can do to prolong the life of their pet.
So it looks like we have a pretty decently shattered pelvis here.
Oh my God.
And so we break things down into quality of life, and we'll talk about that. What is the pet's quality of life? Because ultimately, some illness or some disease or some accident stepped in before they're at the point where they are.
This particular cat has a bunch of stones in his bladder. You can see these things that look like little pebbles almost. He has those within his urinary bladder, so that's a problem for him. It's a lot of information, and so we try to add in something always about chemotherapy in dogs and cats, because it's very different the way we treat them. We treat with a goal of quality of life as opposed to just ultimate cure. And so instead of making them sick with the chemotherapy, the point is to actually improve their quality of life.
He had a tumor that grew very quickly 2 weeks ago, so our local vet took it off and the pathology said it's probably lymphoma, so she sent us up here to the oncologist. So he just had his first chemotherapy and she's pretty optimistic. All his medications are going to be given to us for free by Ohio State University, which they do for rescued greyhounds around the country. They provide all the chemotherapy drugs for free.
Sometimes someone will come in and their pet's very sick, and another aspect of veterinary medicine is it's expensive. And people get outraged to have to pay. I mean, it's very difficult. They love these animals. They're part of their family, and for some of them, money is definitely an issue. I mean, for some people, it's a fact they have to euthanize their animals because they don't have the money. Some people will say, I'll stop at nothing. People that I've worked with have put another mortgage on their house.
Wouldn't it be wonderful if you could live your life with the same dog? It cost over $150,000. The money is gone. He's here, and that's more important to me.
Wait.
I take him to the movies. He goes to restaurants. He is well behaved. That's why they allow him to come to work with me.
He's watching. Okay.
I put him in a bag, and I put a scarf over his head when we go to a grocery store or where we go to a movie. I have a living will, and the only thing that I have in the will, really, I haven't really assigned things, is that if I die, if something happens to me, Hudson will be very well taken care of, as will the person who will take care of him. I think about him every single day. I think about his age every single day. It does not escape me.
He picked her out, actually. He picked her out. He said, that one.
We took her in a little room,
He said, that
played
one.
with her for 30 minutes, and
I said, okay, she's coming home. To me, she is like a child of the two of us. She's needy. She depends on us for everything, for food, for water, for warmth, comfort.
He would sit on a chair, and if he wanted me, he'd go, woof, woof, and I'd go running, like I was trained, and he'd look at me, and the way he looked or what he wanted, I knew what he wanted. And when he went deaf and when he went blind, just by the sound of the bark, we communicated.
When people take care of their pets, they're ultimately taking care of eternal 2-year-olds. They're very dependent. They need their food, they need their walks, they need their medicine, they need everything. And sometimes what's unclear is how, in turn, the people then have the dependence on the animals.
JR was my guy. It's a year today that he died. Yeah, 5:30 today. It'll be a year that he's gone. Something was missing in the aura of the house, and there was such a sadness in me, in addition to missing him and his bed's not there anymore. When I had his ashes back, it's like he came back to the house. I had such peace that came over me.
When we buried our first dog, Tony would not go to the cemetery. We have our dogs buried in a by-the-way cemetery in Wandsworth, and Tony would not go.
You know, when you're doing it, you just really can't think of all the things you really want to. You know, we put his toy in there with him.
Oh, I wrote a letter to the
and we
first
wrote a
dog.
letter,
That
and we
was the
put the
first
letter
dog.
in there with him. So when he's upstairs, he can read the letter, and you know.
They have this animal that has absolutely broken every boundary that there is. I mean, they take a shower, the dog's there. You know, no matter where they are, the dog is invited to cross all of the boundaries that are innate in human relationships. It's not uncommon for people who have lost their pet to kind of go home and take a cookie out of the jar and put a cookie out, and the dog's dead. And I think for some people too, which is different from human loss, is that people really worry that once the pain passes, that there won't be memories left. It's not like, you know, you can have another relative who may say, oh, I saw something, it reminded me of your mom, or, hey, you know, I caught a great movie, your brother would have really liked it. You know, for many people, their pets are kind of these secret relationships that's been referred to sometimes in the literature as like a secret soul. So it's uncommon for most people, for people to say, hey, you know, I thought about something that your cat would have really liked. I saw a great bird. It just doesn't happen. It is a place where there is unconditional love, and people love. I mean, people love love.